Good morning, guys. So I've got a tool that I really want to share with you. Tools. I actually have a pair of what's actually in here already, and I've used them for a year and a half, and they haven't. I simply can't fault them. They are perfect. And so what I decided to do is, in case I ever break them, or I can no longer get them when I want them, I bought myself a second set. Now, they're not cheap, but you buy quality, you buy, well, in this case, you buy twice, just in case you want a backup spare. Anyway, I've had them for a year and a half, and I've absolutely abused them. So we'll talk through them, I'll show you what they are, and I highly recommend you get them. This isn't just something I've had for a couple of months, and I'm saying I'll get it. I've had these for a year and a half, and I've used them constantly. Oh. These are Ajax 150mm long, 1/4" shank, Torx and hex bits. Now, there are lots of different Torx and hex bits on the market, but I have not found one that even comes close to the quality and the resilience of this set. And I have bought bits from many different manufacturers, and this is a set from Milwaukee. And even in the short time I've owned the Milwaukee set, I've already gone through 2 or 3 Phillips bits, and I've gone through 2 Phillips bits, and I've gone through 2 flathead bits, and they're just a disappointment. They are. You would expect more from Milwaukee, I'll be honest. I don't know. I think they've updated them since, and they've now got a red label. But all I know is pretty junky. I wouldn't waste your money on it. And so my set, here they are. This is what I'm using at the moment, and I use the Torx on Torx is common on pretty much all small engined pieces of equipment, sort of mowers, less, not so much mowers, but smaller than mowers. So hedge cutters, chainsaws, strimmers, sometimes generators will have it, edgers will have them. And then before Torx became popular, it was Allen heads. So these are still common on certain engines. And then before these, it was most typically flatheads. So this set alone can pretty much do the majority of engines that you're going to small engines that you're going to come across, and it has all the most common sizes. So Torx is 10 to 30, and then the Hex is 2 to 6 with a 2.5 in there as well. And as I said, I have really abused these. These have been on impact tools, and the teeth are still great. There's no slop in them at all. And I've done it a number of times where I've thought I'd engaged the bolt, span it on the Torx, and it just literally zips and buzzes and spins around kind of just above the engagement point, I guess, of the bolt, and still hasn't caused any damage. The only thing that's noticeable, which is different between the new and the old, is that just some of the coatings come off. That is the only thing. They're not bent, and also the Torx. Well, that's unfortunate. Also the Torx, it was the 5 that I tried to take an exhaust bolt off, and I put so much force on this, and it still didn't twist, still didn't slip, still didn't snap. Hex are notorious for slipping, and I hate them. I really can't stand them. However, this set is the only set so far that I've found that I can recommend 100% in terms of longevity, quality, versatility. You just can't beat it. One thing that really stands out is the steel. This is not normal impact steel. These are impact rated, but they are, where is it? Ajax screws made from A2 steel, which is a harder, more resilient steel, but it's still impact rated, so it's not going to damage your tools when you're spinning them in the impact drivers. So both power and hand tools, and I've done that with both. Had them for, as I said, about a year and a half. I love them. And what's also great is you can buy these at most places, not this exact brand, but the actual shank themselves, because they're impact rated, generally they're a bit softer, so they need a bit more meat here. And you can't often get them into certain places through 2-stroke cylinder head bolts. Sometimes you need to go through the actual cylinder head. There's a drilling, and the thicker ones that I've had in the past, just you can't get through. They don't fit. Whereas these are thin, they're super strong and super resilient, and they fit in basically anywhere that you could want to go. And of course, they're hex shank. So if I get out the impact driver, for example, little Milwaukee, you just go straight in, and they're ready to go. They don't come out until you obviously pull the collet. But honestly, I can't fault them. And I think the other steel is it S2 or something like that? It's just softer. Very common. They're very commonly black, whereas these are kind of like they kind of look a bit like an off brassy coppery color. But I haven't even bothered using the Milwaukee Torx bits, just because I've had these and they haven't let me down. And the other bits that I bought from Milwaukee have let me down. I've had other brands as well. I've actually got a steel one in here that I bought originally, but I think I have only used this once or twice. It's got rust on it now. Once or twice, and I just preferred the quick 1/4" hex. I've heard these are really good too, but you pay a lot of money for them. So if there's one tool that I can recommend without question, that I have tested, I've really pushed to its limits for a long period of time, well, a long period, 1.5 years, maybe even 2 years actually. Yeah, maybe even 2 years. It's these. It's the Ajax power bits in 1/4" shank with Torx and hex ends, and the magnetic too. So you do pay a bit more than what you do for other brands, but they will outlast anything else that I've tried, and I highly recommend them. So anyone that's working on small engines, if you're looking for bits, I firstly recommend long shanks. Try and stay away from putting adapters together, because then the adapters are a bit thicker, it's a bit awkward. Just get a long shank, and I think you'll appreciate the ease in which they are to use, and especially these in terms of their quality. So there we go, Google Ajax, and hopefully that will come up, and I can guarantee you won't be disappointed. All right, cheers guys, bye.